joining us on the Nikki Maduro Show. I'm Nikki Maduro. She is Kim McAllister. I have my cocktails for cocktails and news because we talk about the news that drives you to drink or whatever you want to do. I mean, whatever you want to imbibe. It could be juice if that's what you want to do. It could be flour. It could be whatever you want.
Lord.
We are here to support you because you support us. And on that note, if you guys can click that thumbs up button, we really do appreciate it because this show is 100% crowdfunded. Patreon, PayPal, Super Chat, Super Stickers, in whatever way you can support the show, we really do appreciate it. So have to get all that stuff out of the way before we get to it. Because if there's anything that is driving people to drink over the past week or so, it is this partial government shutdown that is creating havoc all over the country. And the travelers that are trying, my brother just has been spending several weeks in Japan. He took my sister-in-law and my niece and nephew because my nephew is graduating high school and on this big trip to Japan and a cruise, amazing trip. Getting back into the United States apparently has been an S show. And absolutely. Let me know in the comments if anybody has been flying and what you've been experiencing. I don't want to fly. Spring break is April is coming up. I wanted to go see my friend. I just wanted to go to see her in Idaho, maybe surprise her. Not even going to even think about doing that. So they're saying these are the longest wait times in the TSA 24-year history, because obviously airport workers are calling out of work at rates of 40 to 50%. And, obviously I don't blame these people for not going to work. I wouldn't want to go to work. They have to find other jobs, or they have to take care of their kids, or they can't afford gas because gas is hella expensive. And so I wouldn't go to work Kim, if my government is even remotely thinking about taking a 2-week friggin' recess while my ass isn't getting paid, which, by the way, they're thinking about doing after tomorrow.
So they will get retroactively paid, but
retroactively paid doesn't mean shit.
Was it the head of the TSA or the head of the TSA union? I think the representative for TSA workers said that they are going to food banks to feed their families.
Yeah.
That they are, trying to apply for food stamps and things that will help get them through this. They're in dire straits. I will say that my daughter, this is like the year of the trip for her. First, she had a flight to Tampa, Florida a couple of weeks ago for a broadcasting trip. And today she flew to New Orleans for the yearly band trip.
How'd that go?
So she texted me. She said, just landed. This is this morning. Just landed. ICE agents are everywhere.
Really?
Yeah. And she landed in New Orleans and ICE agents are all over the place. I said, just keep your head down and walk fast.
Yeah. Someone's asking how would you feel if you had paid ICE guys standing behind you while you work unpaid? They're asking for your IDs.
Yep.
They're trying to get you through. And a lot of people are saying, Kim, this was all part of the plan. Create a problem, right? And get ICE agents into the places where you wanted them anyway.
Two things. I read a story today that Elon Musk offered to pay for TSA agents' salaries during this.
It was
and the Trump administration said no. And then,
I get that though. They said it would create a lot of complication, which I understand.
I get it. Whatever, that's fine. But I also read, and this one is a little more scary, that Steve Bannon went on a podcast and says this is a test run for putting ICE agents at our polling places. Not the first time he said that.
Right.
We'll see how it goes at the airports, see how they do at the airports, see if then they can turn around and be used in other places. These agents aren't supposed to be used for this purpose. These are not. They don't function in the same way.
They're not trained for this. What are they doing?
And we don't need that at our polling places, nor do we want that. That's really frightening. I really hope that Steve Bannon talking out of his ass and that's not really something that's going to come to fruition.
Rhonda says my 50th high school reunions in Hawaii, not feeling it,
Oh,
which I totally understand.
yeah.
John says Austin Airport had no problems last week. And that's what you're also hearing, like vastly different situations
Yeah.
where some people are saying ice. And I've seen it on TV. I've read it in newspapers. Some airports, no problems whatsoever, all the way through. And then other places, you see these images. You'll see it in the thumbnail of the show where they're out the door. And it really makes you wonder, like, what the hell's going on? Vicky says, I flew home to SFO from Houston. How did that go? Yeah, it's you. This is the point, though. There's no consistency. There's just absolutely no consistency. I don't feel safe and I can't plan. I don't know what to expect. If I book a flight, if I'm going to get through smoothly or not. And that's the problem. I don't want to book a flight. I don't want to go anywhere. That hurts airlines. That hurts travel. That hurts the places, the destinations that I was planning on going to. It's just, yeah. So Cameo says Trump just announced he'll pay TSA in the New York Times. I was hearing rumors of that. Is that confirmed?
Yeah.
That he's going to do that clean bill? Is that just confirm that for me?
I am looking at this story. It is from Reuters, and here is the story.
Is this the clean bill without the SAVE Act and without the without the ICE funding, which they don't need, by the way, because they have plenty of money from the big stupid bill?
Yeah.
Trump says he will order DHS chief to pay US TSA agents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Thank the Lord.
And that came out about an hour ago. He's signing an order asking the Homeland Security Secretary, Mark Wayne Mullen, to immediately pay the TSA administration agents. So that's at this point, that's all we have and all we know. And thanks to Cameo for bringing it up. So hopefully something gets changed here. But it's a scary time because, at least 450 TSA agents have quit over this in protest. Many more are calling in sick. We know that ICE agents are definitely not trained to do their own jobs, let alone other people's jobs. And what does it mean for air traffic controllers? I just worry when you have your kid flying, what have you, and anybody really, whether it's safe right now. Is it as safe to fly if people aren't being checked for explosives as thoroughly, for as knives and guns, if things are slipping through the cracks, if there's enough air traffic controllers, like what's happening out there? Yeah.
Well, there was a senior TSA official who was saying that Trump's going to pay these TSA agents, but they're saying the ramifications of this are going to be felt for a month because of people that have quit. Now, if I was a TSA agent and I'm seeing this and I haven't been paid forever, I might be thinking, I don't want to go back. I don't want to deal with this all the time. She said that the effects of the departure will play out for months, given that the onboarding process for new hires, for those that quit that have to fill it, takes 4 to 6 months of training. That timeline means any new TSA officers hired after the government funding is restored won't be able to begin work at security checkpoints until after things like the World Cup, which, by the way, is scheduled to begin in June across this country. Yeah. So think about that. And places like, I don't know, my city of San Jose, which people are just going to be flying into. It just really gives you pause of what the is going on. You know what I mean? It's just, we have all these huge events that are happening, which we want to happen. And I'm not saying that I want bad things to happen, but it just doesn't feel safe. I don't feel like I trust that the government knows what's going on, because there's so many things that need to be looked after that I don't feel like the right people are in place. That they fired so many of the qualified people and put in their yes men and their yes women who are not qualified. And so I just don't feel safe. Yeah, they should give TSA agents a bonus to come back, John says. Yeah, that would be good. I mean, how about giving some of that ICE money, those hiring bonuses in the big, beautiful bill? Why don't you hand that over to actually qualified TSA agents so that people feel safe again to be flying? How about that? Because I would really, really love that. I will say this. I am glad to read that headline though about Trump
Yeah.
paying, because he knows. He absolutely knows. It doesn't look good also that bipartisan bills have been shut down because of Trump. That Republicans have come out and said, hey, we could have reached a deal.
Yes.
But Trump keeps saying, no, don't do it. It doesn't look good for him when he is the one that's stopping it from happening.
They have quoted him, and they're trying to say, oh, this is the Democrat shutdown. But they have quoted Trump as saying, no deal with Democrats.
Yeah.
And the Republicans are like, we have a deal in place.
Right.
And Trump is like, no deal with Democrats. No, no, no.
Yeah.
So I think then it becomes Trump's fault. Honestly,
it is.
He's the one that is making this happen. I think that people are unhappy, and he is very sensitive right now to the midterm elections coming up. And he knows people are unhappy with sentiment dropping for his Iran war excursion. And he knows people are unhappy with the long TSA line that it looks like the country's falling apart.
Absolutely.
So he's got to shore something up because, I think voter sentiment is not on his side.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
When people are going to head to the polls, and I know there's a while before the midterms, but they're going to be looking all around them. And when gas prices are what they are, we're in the middle of a war that cannot be defined. Air travel is an S show. You have to ask yourself, what are we voting for? And then you have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and so many others saying it's gonna be a bloodbath. He has to see the writing on the wall. I just keep it on the airline thing. Did you see this funny story? I just want to show you this video about traveling. I've never heard of this before. Did you see this video of this TikTok woman? Hold on. I want to bring it up because we have to do it a different way. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh, hold on. I got to share it. Okay. So this woman was thinking that this bus was going to take her to the plane. This is what she's on. She's on a bus. She got a ticket for an Airbus, but it was an actual bus that took her to her destination. She posted it on TikTok. Apparently that's what airlines are doing now, is that when you buy a ticket, American Airlines has this Airbus option where you board a bus on the tarmac. So you walk out where the planes are, and then they drive you to your destination instead. So she thought that she was buying an airplane ticket, but it was actually an Airbus premium motor coach ticket.
Psych.
So just to let you guys know that in this age of, I don't know how I'm going to be traveling, you should double check your tickets. Just letting you know.
Speaking of things happening at airlines, I saw this too. This is at LAX, where there are now calls for this baggage handler to be fired because of the way he's casting, one would assume, cases filled with guitars inside and not just cases. Look, watch how he just chucks them. I mean, it's just throwing them, flinging them all over the place. They're bouncing all over the tarmac there. And I don't know who brought that many guitars or whatever. Maybe
it's probably like a band or something, I would imagine. Like an orchestra or somebody, like something is there.
He doesn't seem to treat them with much care, I'll say.
Okay, I'm not defending this guy at all. But I would also I can also imagine, like, this is his job. You have to wonder, like,
ouch.
Is he going to set it down?
Are like, oh my God, no.
There should be like a cart. You know what I mean? Like a separate cart where things like that go on, because he's not going to like walk it down and like, this is what he does with luggage. That's not what you do with instruments. That's not what you do with things that matter. There should be a separate cart for like fragile things. You know what I mean? Fragile. Yeah, there should be something separate that goes on those things that you could just roll over, because that's how you treat luggage. That is not how you treat instruments and things that matter at all.
I have one more airport story for you.
Please.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Into an airline
well, section. TSA, let's keep it on it. Yeah.
I saw this and I think this is a great idea. Now, I might not be able to afford this,
Hmm.
but imagine if you had a family of 3 or a 2 or what have you, and you wanted to buy a row of 3 seats and it turns
Oh,
into a couch. They'll even give you a mattress topper.
ooh, a snuggle on a
You have
flight.
a little snuggle. And if you were a parent that were, maybe you had 2 kids and you're whatever, a couch kind of
Hmm.
format might seem to be a little better rather than, holding one in your lap and sitting. Just buy the 3 seats. Maybe even if you I don't know if you have
Is
to
it
have
for
one
every
person per seat.
flight or just like long distance? Like, does it have to be a certain distance
So
flight?
it's called the couch style relax row. So it's called the relax row. It's only on United Airlines. They're adding it in economy on long haul flights, and they're starting to roll this out in 2027 on their wide body planes. And
Hmm.
they're doing it as fares are rising. Airline fares are rising because of the rising fuel prices. It's positioned between standard economy and premium economy. The section also includes amenities like a mattress pad, extra pillows, blankets, and family travel kits with a rollout plan starting in 2027. And they're going to expand it to other aircraft as well. They're going to have 12 of these sections on each plane. So there will be 12 couch rows or relax rows. They say, as a leading premium airline, we're committed to delivering new industry leading experiences for all of our customers. And the
Hmm.
United Relax Row is the perfect example of that. Customers traveling in United Economy on long haul flights deserve an option for more space and comfort. And this is the way we can deliver that for them. It's supposed to have more leg room, an option to kind of put your feet up. So I don't know.
I was thinking two things.
I
One,
know.
what John just said, I could see
Yep,
people getting frisky, right?
I
Like,
know.
give me that blanket. But the other thing I was thinking, I don't know if I want to sleep with a bunch of strangers because, okay, I love my husband to death. My husband has sleep apnea. If he doesn't have his CPAP, I don't want to be sleeping on an airplane with him.
But
Like,
don't you fall asleep anyway on the airplane sitting up? I
but
always
he
sleep in planes.
doesn't. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
can, but
right,
he doesn't. And we're not sleeping on the airplane. Like,
right.
he's not doing that. If you give him the option to go to sleep, his ass is snoring. You know what I mean? Hey, Nugget, stop it. So he's snoring, and I don't. Then I'm not sleeping. So what the hell did I pay for the
Well,
couch for?
maybe it's so, it's kind of loud on an airplane and everyone has their ear pods in or
Well,
AirPods in or what have you.
he'll snore through it. Yeah, there's just no
I
freaking.
mean, maybe it's loud enough that the snoring would be muffled.
But what if it's him and then the other guy? It's a cacophony of snoring people. It's always the snorers that can snore through it. I'm a very light sleeper. I would not be able to. So no.
Well, at least you could stretch out,
And what if
you
people like
know?
farting and like scratch? I don't know if I
Oh
want to do
my
this on
God.
an airplane. Do
Well,
I really need this?
they have
Like,
on those flights to Europe, the longer flights, they have those little pods,
yeah,
where
that's
you can
true.
like lay out or whatever, and it's not a
Yeah.
problem.
Well, my brother like they just went to Japan. He got one of those with the little like
Yeah.
divider things. Yeah, they got
I've
one of
never
those
I've
too.
never been in those, but I could
Neither
see
have I.
that
I'm
they
not
have
fancy
those,
enough for
and
that.
that's not a
Yeah.
problem. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, this way, if your kid needs to take a nap, everyone stretches out.
I
You don't have to
guess.
flip the armrest
I think
up.
I would
So
have
I
to
don't know.
experience it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it would have to be an experience. I guess I would want to try it. I look at this couple in this picture and I'm like, "Oh, that looks kind of nice."
Right.
On the other hand, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like a plane is just it matters how long the flight is. I don't know. It matters. I want a
It
TV. I don't know. I don't know.
it depends on how expensive the relax row is. What they do say is that persistently high jet fuel costs are driving fares up by as much as 20% if expenses don't ease soon.
Yeah.
And that airline is expecting some customer pushback, fewer people traveling and buying those high price tickets if this continues on. So they
Yeah.
have to do something to attract people. I just don't know how much the relaxed row will be and whether, I mean, it in theory, it looks interesting.
Right. I mean, and again, at a time when air travel is not very attractive, maybe
Hmm.
this will, but you know what will attract me to fly? Cheaper flights. Like
Yeah.
I don't need much. I just don't want to pay an arm and a leg. You
Yeah.
know, like don't nickel and dime me to death. Um, Sue Ann was bringing up that story about Southwest with the automatic buying an extra seat if you're too big.
Yeah.
The problem with this one, Sue Ann, and I was reading an article about it, is it's up to like the person at the gate that just eyeballs you, which is kind of BS if you ask me. Very embarrassing.
I mean, I think they can tell if you're going to fit into one seat or if you're going to spill over. And
Well, I was reading an article about a woman that was like, it's not my butt that's big. Like it was like kind of her tatas or whatever. Like she's like, I can fit in the seat. Like my butt's not big. It was more like, and so she was like, give me a chance to sit down. Don't eyeball me.
Okay, but even if it's like you're large shouldered or large breasted and your top half, you still have to sit there shoulder to shoulder with the people next to you. And if you're wider and they're like this because you're like this, then I don't know. I mean, I just don't want anyone to be uncomfortable because I walk onto a plane and I don't quite fit where I need to fit. You know
I
what
get
I mean?
what you're I totally get what you're saying, but I feel like airlines should err on the side of we are still the customer. And I just don't feel like airlines think about that anymore. Whether it's this policy or nickel and diming you over bags or whatever, they keep looking at us like dollar signs instead of comfort. And they're going to be like, look, we made you a couch. Well, screw your couch. Just make me feel like not cattle. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not asking for a couch. Make your seats a little bit wider, right? So we don't have to like have this debate anymore because Americans are bigger than, I don't know, 12 freaking inches, and make us not feel uncomfortable and make your prices lower. Stop acting like you're losing money and stop paying your CEOs too much money. I mean, come on, give me a break. It's just manage your money better. I don't know. It's just, and that's a good point. Like, should there be something like roller coasters have where like, you have a seat and it doesn't even have to be like in front of the gate. Like it could be in front of the airport or something. Where you sit down.
People know. People know if they're not going to fit in the seat, buy an extra thing. If you have to ask for the extra little seatbelt part, then you just get an extra seat.
It's not just, Kim, it's not just get an extra seat. It's friggin' expensive.
Then don't go. Because here's my thing. I think that if the person next to you is normal sized or what have you, and the other person is not, then you really aren't being a conscientious citizen because you're inflicting.
I hear what you're saying.
On theirs. I mean, they paid the same as you. Why should they have to suffer just because, you're a bigger person? If you are a bigger person, then you have to pay more for bigger clothes sizes and you have to pay more for food and you have to pay more for all these other things and you have to, pay more for
hear you.
And if you don't want to do that, then you have to then lose weight so that you don't have to do that. That's my thinking.
I'm a tiny person.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I'm still semi-touched by a person sitting next to me.
Sure.
That is not a person problem. That is a design flaw of the seat and the airport. Yeah. So that's my point. Like, I totally hear what you're saying, Kim. And I agree with Kitty. Like, if you encroach and I paid for the seat and I totally hear, I agree with you, Kim, and I agree with Kitty. Like, yes, I understand the idea of it all. But honestly, the onus really is more on the airline. They are designing these planes and these seats.
That's true.
In a way in which it's unfair because, and they know it. They know it. And so
they do, but
they're going to make people so uncomfortable. And so, it's a little bit that you're touching. You're going to have to share that armrest. But now, obviously, if you're a little bit bigger, they're going to be like, I got you for the extra seat. It's like, screw you,
if
dude.
they're trying to nickel and dime you to death, and you don't legitimately need the extra seat, or maybe you're just a tall person and, there's nothing you can do about it. But if you're little and I'm not, which is the case, then I'm not going to come on the plane and try to make your trip miserable. And you see me coming down the aisle and you're like, God, I have to sit next to that lady, right? I don't want that.
Right. Nobody wants that.
Right.
Sue Ann's like, bottom line, revert seat size and spacing to what it was before 1970.
Yeah.
Like when they brought you like a whole turkey and champagne and you got dressed up to go to the airport. Like, what's his face? Sean Duffy was telling us to do.
And everybody
People don't
had to
get
wear-
dressed up anymore. You treat us like cattle. We're not dressing up. You know what I mean?
Everyone had to wear pantyhose. Remember that?
Exactly. Like, it's not elegant. You didn't make it elegant. Go back to that where, you know, you can waltz down the center aisle. Then maybe I'll wear a dress. But until then, Sean Duffy, stick it up where the sun doesn't shine. You know what I mean? Like, please give me a freaking break over here. You're stupid.
When you pick a seat, says John, it would be nice to know how big the person next to you is going to be. Well, I don't think you need to know. Big person, like there's a little.
It's like a matchmaking, like a dating app.
Big row, little row.
Like, what are you supposed to do?
I think if you know you need an extra seat, you just buy an extra seat, and then you realize that there's going to be nobody next to you, right? And it means that the other person paid for that seat. I'm putting my purse there, and I'm flipping up the armrest. I'm making my own little relax row. So chill out.
They should make it like movie theaters. You know what I mean? I have never gone to the movie theater and felt uncomfortable. Can we just go to that?
Ever, right?
You know what I mean? I've never been uncomfortable in a movie theater. They
should make it like movie theaters that have the little swinging tray that comes in front of you and the little footrest that you can.
Everyone's happy in the movies.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Truth. Nobody's upset. Everybody's like, I could choose my seat. I can get someone to bring me a drink. Like, I'm happy, you know, make money hand over fist. There you go.
Heather says, this is BS. Airlines make record profits, yet keep degrading the customer experience.
Exactly. Because they know we need to fly. That's why they know we need to fly.
Yeah.
Look at movie theater, how spacious. Yes.
Yes.
And I will say this. I know movie theaters are also having a hard time. I'm waiting for that comment. I get that because of streaming and things like that. But if you made airplanes like movie theaters and you had people buy the short and curlies because they need to fly, you know, but fuel price, I get it. It's not the same thing, but I'd love to fly. I definitely would love to fly. A couple of boobs and bonks here and there as you shift in your seat, no problem. But if your body is smashed against my body for the entire flight, that's gross and not okay. Mm-hmm. We've had this conversation before about like armrests. Like my rule is the middle person gets both. The aisle gets the left. The window gets the window on the right. Yeah. That's just the rule. If you're in the middle, you get both. Like you're stuck in the freaking middle. You get whatever you want. Like that's it. That's my rule.
Have an a-hole test, a questionnaire for each passenger when they buy a ticket.
Like, how do you feel? That would be a great dating app. Like, that is a great way to meet people. Just fill this out, see if you match up. You could read other people's answers, you know?
Yeah.
Like, fly and maybe find love, you know, love in the air. There you go. See? Something like that. Yeah, and they're not going to give us gourmet meals either. You're lucky to get pretzels. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't even get that.
A great use of old pantyhose filtering paint, says Tammy. Yes.
Exactly. Sniff paint. Okay, let's move on to the Supreme Court that's kind of been like a little wishy-washy with some possible ideas. Let's talk about voting by mail. So it looks like they are poised to change the rules about vote by mail, even though Donald Trump bitches and moans about voting by mail, a day before he votes by mail in Florida.
So hypocritical.
He's in a race, by the way, that his candidate lost, which I just loved, by the way, in Mar-a-Lago, which was, but anyways. So here's the thing. The Supreme Court, the conservative majority, basically says that they may allow, it looks like they're going to allow mail-in votes or not allow mail-in votes to be counted after Election Day, even if they were postmarked by Election Day. That is something that we allow, okay? Yeah. Alaska, many other states allow this. And it helps military. It's used, there's no problem with it. The IRS does it. You know what I mean? Like you got to get your stuff in by April 15th. It has to have the postmark. There shouldn't really be a big deal about it. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. If vote by mail was, you have to vote on election day. That's it. You have to vote on election day. How do you feel about that? I have thoughts. I want to hear yours. Now, again, there are caveats for the military that they did say. They did say something. They did say that. This is my thing. Because there have been so many attacks on voting basically since 2016, right? Donald Trump has come out just constantly since he's been president about voting. Only in elections, obviously, that he's lost or have been questionable. None of the ones that Republicans have won. I've constantly said the same thing. We just have to continue to go out and vote. That's it. Like, we have to, whatever rules they make, we have to do. You have to continue to vote. Whatever, and then we have to continue to help those that face problems vote. Now, obviously, places like Alaska are going to have really hard times. I don't know how we're going to help Alaska or rural areas, right? Where it's hard to get out there. You know, I mean, there are reasons why these systems are in place, is because problems arose. And so we created these systems to be like, okay, as long as it's in by the end of the day, we will still count it because, you know, mail might come in later or something like that. But as long as it's postmarked, we'll still count it.
Right.
Because there's a way of checking. And we trusted the system because the system actually does work. Your thoughts, Kim?
We know that the fewer people that vote, the more success the Republicans have, and they know it. This is not about elections being rigged. This is not about voting by mail being unreliable or being a method by which anyone cheats. This is a way that Republicans want to get more people not to vote. They are, in my opinion, restricting the voice of the American voter because they want to win. And the more people that vote, the more unlikely it is they will win. Think about that for just a second, right?
Well,
because if everybody voted and more people had a voice, they aren't going to be very successful. I don't mind. I never minded that if the ballot was postmarked by election day, and it arrives, I think what was it in one state is 3 days later. This is where all the hoopla originated. If it arrived as much as 3 days later, they would still count it. But then after that deadline, they wouldn't. I don't want anybody's voice to be restricted. And I don't mind waiting an extra 3 days for all the votes to come in and be tallied. So as long as it's postmarked by election day, I don't see what the problem is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with you. But here's Trump and his ridiculousness. And I would say outright lies. At one point, he says they send Democrats 7 or 8 ballots, but then the Republicans don't get any ballots at all. I mean, is that the biggest line of crap you've ever heard? Oops, I'm sorry. I had it all set up and then it's 1414. Here it is.
Citizenship, they vote against it. Now, I happen to be a fan of no mail-in ballots, even though I won Florida, which is mail-in ballots by a massive number, the highest number in history. And I won other places, but in California and other states, they cheat so badly with it.
Because I lost.
They send 38 million ballots out.
Actually,
and
we
of
do
the
it great.
38 million, they go to Democrats, a hell of a lot. Democrats get sometimes 6 or 7 ballots in one household.
Liar.
Republicans are calling for their ballot. They're saying, please send me my ballot.
You lie.
Very unfair, but I hate that. I hate mail-in ballots. I've won with mail-in ballots, but I hate mail-in ballots because basically it's a way of cheating. Jimmy Carter, the single best thing he did, including his presidency. It wasn't giving away the Panama Canal for $1. That was not the best. But he did that. He did a lot of other things, but he did do one thing. He had a commission with Scoop Jackson and some other very respected people. And the conclusion was never allow mail-in ballots, because if you do, there'll be massive cheating, and that's what happens. We can't do it, so we have to do something about that.
He's such an
Lies.
idiot.
One
He's
lie
so
after
stupid.
another. None of it's true.
And did you
None
hear
of-
Mike Johnson, the speaker, Mike Johnson? He's like, they're like, well, why is it okay if Trump does it? He's like, oh, well, Florida does it right. There's no cheating in Florida. If Mike Johnson can lick the actual butthole of Trump every day of the week, he would do it.
True.
Mike Johnson is
Yep.
just the biggest bootlicker. I don't even know how he looks at himself in the mirror every day. He is the epitome of an embarrassment of a human being. I can't stand Mike Johnson. I think he's almost like right below Donald Trump. I just cannot. He bothers me so much. This America First award, by the way, that they created to give to Donald Trump. Why? Why do they just sit in a bedroom dreaming up awards, thinking that Donald Trump is going to shower them with some sort of love? Like, oh my God, it drives me absolutely crazy. But yeah, it bothers me to no freaking end that they just bow down to him. And yes, Judy, I do have to be crude. It just brings it out to me. It does. I'm sorry.
I don't think this goes over very well with voters. When you put yourself so far above other people, sorry, allergy season, I think I'm going to sneeze. When you put yourself so far above other people, it just doesn't look very nice. So Trump is asked, taking questions from reporters on C-SPAN with the video, and he's asked, well, you were in Florida and you decided to vote by mail and that was okay. He's like, well, because I'm the president. Yeah.
What does that mean?
You probably said, yeah, I did. Why did you know what? Because I'm president of the United States. And because of the fact that I'm president of the United States, I did a mail-in ballot for elections that took place in Florida because I felt I should be here instead of being in the beautiful sunshine.
You were in Palm Beach, sir, the last few weekends.
That's right.
So you could have
decided that I was going to vote by mail-in ballot because I couldn't be there because I had a lot of different things. But, we have exceptions for mail-in ballots. You do know that, right? So if you're away, we have an
caught with his
exception.
pants down.
If you're in the military, we have an
Caught
exception.
being a hypocritical.
You're not in the military.
Business trip, we have an exception. If you're
He's so
disabled, we
stupid.
have an exception. And if you're ill, if you're not feeling good, whatever. So I was
Oh, so
away,
everybody can say they're
mostly in
ill.
Washington, D.C.,
I'm ill.
so I used a mail-in ballot. But I appreciate the question because I know it was so well-meaning.
He's such an a-hole. He hates being called on the carpet. You know what I mean? Like he knows the hypocritical. Like
He was in Florida. He was there. He could have.
You could have just gone.
And it's part of his whole, he has a song and dance he does every time he gets into behind a microphone. We're the greatest. We're the hottest country. The mail-in ballots. That's the cheating. Da, da, da. If he knows he's going to say it over and over again, then why does he put himself in the position to have to defend it? Why doesn't he just know that he's going to be there, trot his ass down to the polls?
Be an
and vote?
example. Because
Thank
he
you.
doesn't actually believe it. He
'Cause he's not-
doesn't actually believe
Rules
it.
do not apply to him. Plus, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, and he thinks that people aren't going to notice. Well, people are starting to notice. I get to do it because I'm the president. You can't do it because you're not.
Because he doesn't actually also believe it. He knows mail-in ballots are fine.
Yeah.
You guys, he doesn't actually see anything wrong with mail-in ballots.
Right.
The only reason he's bitching about it is because he lost in the states that use it. He knows there's nothing wrong with mail-in ballots. He knows there's a checks and balance. He knows all of this. He's full of shit. And he knows it. He knows this. There is no question.
Did you
Come on.
Was he even a little embarrassed right there? I think
No.
he
To be
got a
embarrassed
little
when he
hot over it,
has some
though.
sort of
he was a little defensive.
He's always defensive. To call him on the car, he's like, and I'm sure you asked me that question. And like,
You were well intentioned.
He's so
How about
freaking
because
stupid.
America sees there's one set of rules for you and one
Yes.
set of rules for everyone else.
No, I mail in ballot for me, not for thee. Like, you know what I mean?
When
Like,
I
whatever.
do it, it's not cheating, but when you do
Yes,
it, it's cheating.
exactly. It's so obvious. And the fact that MAGA and his supporters are like, well, of course he can do it. I can't do it, but he can do it, but I can't do it. Like, you guys are such freaking morons. And then they say we have Trump derangement syndrome. It's like, what are you talking about? I
I
know.
love this from Sausalito Vicky. To fool or to cheat in French, the word is tromper. What are the
Yeah.
chances? It's really similar to his name.
Yeah. It's just, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And again, all of the things he says he won't do, he does.
Yep.
Right? I mean, it's just this back and forth, whether it's voting by mail or this freaking war that is frightening me to my core every single day, Kim. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to get out of this. I mean, does anybody know how we're going to get out of this when we have Donald Trump, who is at some point going to have to admit and pull out? You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
at some point, I just don't see an out. He wants to say either we're gonna send more troops in. I hope that Congress isn't going to put boots on the ground, but that's apparently where we're heading. How are we getting out of this? How are we getting out of this when we have a Republican Party that refuses to put him in check, when we have a president that lies about talks with Iran and Iran keep calling him out, when we have allies that don't want to be allies with him because he doesn't want to be allies with them? How do we get out of this? How do we get out of this? Not to mention the insider trading that seems to be going on constantly with his announcements. Like, what world are we in right now? I don't even understand. And I don't know how we get out of this.
Once again, we're in a world where the rules don't apply, right? Where everything is it's like the Wild West, free. Everything is free. And it's all done while he's president, and so he has immunity, right? No consequence.
That's what I keep saying, is everybody that would hold him accountable is in his pocket. And that was the fear from the very beginning. Is, and you've said this many times, Kim, and during his first go around, there were people that were experienced that were like, no. There's none of those people anymore.
Yeah.
These people have no idea what they're doing.
You had
They know it.
You had real generals. You had people that were
Yes.
trained. You had people that went to like West Point in charge of the military. Now you got Pete Hegseth. I mean,
oh God, and he doesn't know what he's doing at all. How and Ron's going to reject everything. And Trump doesn't even know what he's doing.
There's no grown-ups in the room. There are no grown-ups in the room. And that's what makes it scary. Plus this conflicting information. Are we negotiating? Are we not negotiating? Do we have a plan? Do we not have a plan? Are we sending troops? Are we not sending troops? And if the war is ending and you want to make it quick, then why are you sending 1,000 paratroopers?
Is it over? Is it not over? Yeah.
Right. And so he that's like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, unless it's just like quite like the, what does he call it when he verbally meanders and gets circles around to the point eventually, or he thinks he makes some point, unless it's some super secret plan to keep the misinformation going. But even Republicans are getting pissed off about this.
Of course they are.
They're not happy either. Here's what he had to say about Iran.
But Iran would long ago have had a nuclear weapon if it weren't for us. The entire world would be under mortal threat, and the prospects for peace in the Middle East would be absolutely shattered forever. And forget the Middle East, we would have a cloud over us too, because he would have used it, and they would have used it on us without hesitation. Our military would be woke, politicized, starved for resources. ICE would be effectively abolished. They would have terminated ICE so that all these murderers and drug dealers and killers and the mentally insane would be in our country instead of being shipped back to their country like only ICE could do. These are great patriots that have been abused. And I said before, and I mean it, the people are saying, what nice people. Now, I must tell you, when I first sent them in 2 days ago, I looked and they were wearing masks. And I think they have to because a lot of people are up. But in an airport, no. I said, fellas, do you mind taking off your masks in the airport? And they took them off.
We're talking
and people
about
said,
war,
wow,
remember?
these are nice guys. And they're helping the people with their bags. They're moving things along. It's a beautiful thing to see. People are starting to say, ICE, you're nice guys. We really appreciate it. So the
No, we're not.
Democrats, in their violence and viciousness, have done us a favor.
Wow.
No, Grandpa. Sorry. No. Go sit down. Sorry. But we were talking about war. That's the point. It's like he always tries to get back to like the woke ICE.
Yep.
We're in war. And then he keeps calling it a military excursion because if we call it war, then we're going to have to get permission from Congress.
Yep.
You a-hole. You know what I mean? Like, so I want to play something. Did you see the movie Montage? Have you seen the movie Montage?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm going to preface this by saying when I watched it, I was like, okay, we shouldn't make light of war. I'm going to preface this by saying, but the actual, like, the trailer for the war is actually true. Like, but it's totally AI. It's an AI trailer of how we got into this situation. And it's called Iran War, the movie. Okay. So I'm going to get it up. And
Is this new?
yeah. So somebody made this AI, but it actually has actors that you're going to know in it. Okay. Hold on. I gotta share it. I gotta really. Okay. Hold on. Here we go.
Sir, they're about to go nuclear. How long do we have? They're 2 weeks away. How 2 weeks away are they? Even more 2 weeks away than they were 5 years ago. My God! That's dangerous levels of 2 weeks away. I know. Son, if anything happens to me, continue my work. We're only 2 weeks away. I will continue, inshallah. Now I'll go to where no one can find me. My office on the 3rd floor, right by that really big window. Vengeance! Sir, if we attack, they will close the Strait of Hormuz. They don't have the balls to close the Strait of Hormuz. They just closed the Strait of Hormuz. And oil is now over $100 a barrel. Please keep me out of this. No one likes this war. And I want to be president one day. Come on, send a boat or something.
You're the most powerful military in the world. You send your own boats.
That was a test. Ha! You fell right into my trap. Sometimes the best reason for war is no reason at all.
So yeah, so people are making trailers about this war. And the whole point of this is that the reason that we got here, nobody understands. Like, how did we get here and how the hell are we getting out of it? Nobody knows how we're getting out of this. And
Well,
that is the big question mark.
Trump
How?
said
How?
we obliterated their nuclear stockpile. It was underground. There was no way to get to it. It was done. Then all of a sudden, a few months later, It's a problem again, and they're building another spot with more nuclear weapons. I thought you obliterated it. So
yeah.
it just doesn't make any sense. But speaking of video, because he can't really read very well or has no attention span or whatever it is, there's somebody whose job it is to make daily briefings on video. So they make these videos for Trump. They're about 2 minutes long.
Okay.
And they tell him every day what's going on, what the security issues are in the world, and what's the update on the Iran war.
Okay.
And apparently there's concern now because the folks are thinking that he might not be getting the complete picture of the war. Apparently, the daily montage that he gets runs for about 2 minutes, sometimes a little longer. And one person described each daily video as a series of clips of stuff blowing up.
Oh my God.
No wonder he thinks we're winning, winning, winning.
Who's creating this?
Who isn't? Probably the Hegseth people. It's a highlight reel from U.S. Central Command bombing Iranian equipment and military sites. It's not the only briefing that he gets about the war. He's also updated through conversations with intelligence advisors and military people. But we know that he likes TV and he likes to see things and he doesn't like to read things and he doesn't really hear people.
In pictures,
right? The video briefing said to be fueling concerns among some of Trump's allies that he may not be receiving or absorbing the complete picture of the war.
Wow.
Yeah.
No shit. He just, and the thing that also scares me, did you also hear that and I read the headline and I don't have the details right in front of me, that they're lifting or removing if you've been convicted of like a marijuana offense.
Yes, minor drug offenses, and they're lifting the age of the enlisting.
Why would they do that unless they want to they need military folks?
They do. But if you heard Trump at the conference last night, he was saying, no, more people have enlisted in the military than ever before.
Then why do you need to lift it?
Under Biden, nobody wanted to join up, but under my presidency, people just want to come in. If that's the case, then why would you?
Yeah, why do you need to do that?
Put less restrictions on the enlistment requirements. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't at all. I've heard people say I'm afraid they're going to bring back the draft.
Yep.
God, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I respect everybody that serves this country. But this is what scares me about serving this country is that when you sign up, this is what you sign up for, is that you serve presidents that have no idea what they're doing and they're sending you into harm's way. For what reason? Why are we there? If they could answer it, like Nancy Mace came out, she's like, they want to go to war. You know what I mean? And they want to put boots on the ground and she's pissed. Again, this is what makes me so scared as an American is you don't understand what's going on. The whole insider trading, Trump's making all these declarations about stuff. People are buying stock, unloading stock on this news beforehand. He can't be trusted.
No.
He cannot be trusted.
But that's what they told us. That's what Hillary Clinton said. That's what Kamala Harris said at the debates. They looked in the camera and said, America, he can't be trusted with the nuclear codes. He can't be trusted with this country. They were right. Both of them were right. Whether you like them as candidates or not, they were both right. They both have total I told you so cred.
Yeah. It's just scary. And again, I don't want to constantly belabor that point where we're in it. I don't see a way out. I don't understand how we're going to get out of it. I don't. And it makes me scared. It really, really does. And him lying, I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth. Nope. I don't believe that we've reached a deal. I don't believe he's talked to Iran. I don't believe that they're going to come to any sort of agreements on his 15 points or 5 points or whatever points. Mm-hmm. Just don't buy any of the words that come out of his mouth.
Everything he says, it's opposite day.
Yeah.
Whatever he says, believe the exact opposite. Like this one, he says, all the other presidents, Nikki, they wish they could have bombed Iran too.
right.
Excursion into hell, excursion into a terrible place. When I went on to do something that for 47 years should have been done by any of the other presidents, and you heard numerous of them said they wished they did it,
No, they
but they
didn't.
didn't have the guts to do it.
They
They had
weren't
no choice.
stupid
But I
enough.
thought it would be much worse. I thought that the energy prices, oil price would go up higher. I thought the stock market would go somewhat lower, but it didn't matter to me. It's short term. What we had to do is get rid of the cancer. We had to cut out the cancer. The cancer was Iran with a nuclear weapon, and we've cut it out. Now we're going to finish it off. As we rebuild the greatest economy in history, a top priority.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah. You know, it's,
I can only take a little bit at a time.
again, it's, we don't have money for healthcare. We don't have money for this, but we always have money for war. We always have money for war. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Sue Ann says Stephen Miller fills Trump's mind with talking points and pumps him up.
Yep,
Trump is Miller's puppet too.
exactly. You know, and Trump's awful. I know he didn't, and I know he did this and said this a while ago, but again, his reaction also to Robert Mueller's death. Trump is a horrible human being. A horrible human being. So Robert Mueller dies. Trump comes out and says, I'm glad he's dead. This is your president, ladies and gentlemen. And like, some people actually defended him. I know it's like Laura Loomer and all those kind of people. The people that still would vote for Trump after all of this blow my mind. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how someone could go against the policies you voted for him on, right? Like war, taxes, tariffs, right? Like all of those things, being a good human being, right? Like he's not religious. He wishes people were dead. Like what part of him aligns with who you are? What part? But all I'm going to say, and I said this on social media as well, him saying that out loud and tweeting that or whatever, truth socialing it, when he goes on and passes away, anybody can say anything they want now. Anything they want because of what he said.
It's the exact opposite message that he said when Charlie Kirk died.
Oh, of course. Well,
he said, "Oh, look at those Democrats that are saying these horrible things. We don't do that. We're the good people. We don't do that." And what happens the minute Robert Mueller dies? He's dancing on Robert Mueller's grave.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm glad he's dead. How do you? Does he forget that he's president of the United States? Like
he doesn't care. He doesn't care. There's no filter. There's something mentally incorrect.
I think there is something wrong with, I mean, I know that this is like, obviously, but there is something wrong with that man. Like there is no normal, sane human being that is president of the United States that doesn't realize you shouldn't say things like that. Right? I mean, could we all as sane human beings agree to that? Like as sane human beings, understanding that the role of president of the United States carries some sort of clout, you should not type out and post, "Good, I'm glad he's dead," about another American citizen. You could think it. You can even possibly say it to your friend. But to say it to every single American citizen is so disgusting. And then for people to defend it, to make other people disgusting. That's what bothers me, is he in turn makes other Americans disgusting. That's what bothers me.
Though you look at the Trump voter, they like that about him. They like that he has no filter and you never know what he's going to say.
But I feel like they feel like have to defend him. You know what I mean? Like they feel like they have to defend him. because otherwise they have to admit something they're not ready to admit. And that's what bothers me. Like they're like, oh, I got to defend them, because not defending them is a step they're not ready to make. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's what bothers me, is they're so down the rabbit hole that they can't come out of it. And so even saying one of the most vile things is like, well, if I call them out on that, it's like, well, I don't agree with that. But what? But what? I don't know. It's just, he's just an awful human being. I butter emails, right, Kim?
Yeah, butter emails. I hope, as we're really upset about that, as the story comes out that the documents that he pilfered from the United States government were so secret that only 6 people were allowed to see them, some of them, and were pertaining to some of his business interests. You wonder why he took those. Probably financial reasons, financial gain, selling America's secrets, using them for cash. It makes perfect sense.
I just,
I hope,
some people have said he's a Russian asset, and honestly, like, I believe anything at this point.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I believed it when Robert Mueller was doing his investigation. I believe.
You know what I mean?
Trump said, "Oh, the Mueller report cleared me." No, it didn't. Robert Mueller said it didn't. So obviously, I mean, look at what he's doing with Putin. At every turn, it seems like he's got Putin's back.
Yeah, it's
So I don't know. I'm hoping that people are getting wise to it, getting hip to it, that, with the Iran war, with the price of gas, like, I really hope that he's so stupid in thinking that nothing will affect him and, penetrate his Teflon shield of public scrutiny, that I hope that he's feels so comfortable that he keeps doing what he's doing. Not that I want America to go down the tank, but I feel like the only way out of this, the best way out of this, is a midterm election in which the House is taken back. We have to do it. We have to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love the Senate too.
Like, if this
I
is
would
the
just
way
love
it's
to
gonna
get
be
complete
all
power.
4 years, we're screwed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but then again, and you put this in, we're also talking about a Republican Party that's batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Republicans introduced an absurd bill to stop the pollution of drinking water with fetal remains. The bill would make it illegal to flush abortion or miscarriage remains down a toilet to protect both human dignity and America's water systems. This is called the Clean Water for All Life Act. Now, it's obviously the first of its kind bill. And what it would require is for basically anybody that took an abortion pill to use a catch kit to catch whatever came out, and do what with, I have absolutely no idea with, instead of going down the toilet, and then bring that to a doctor to do God knows what with. And if you don't, you would face penalties that include $50,000 fine and 5 years in prison.
Well,
which,
depending on where you live, you can't bring it anywhere because you're going to get in trouble, right?
Right. So you'd be like, obviously,
you'll be put in jail.
Confessing.
Right.
What the F are people talking about? Like,
this is their concern.
This is the most important thing that we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
We care. It's hilarious that they won't call Trump out on a war that we didn't sign up for, that is sending American troops into battle, but we're protecting people from taking abortion pills.
And
like,
the bombing of a children's school.
Right.
Where we're just going to gloss over that and like not realize that you just killed however many, was it 1,000 people at the school?
Their focus is so off. It boggles my mind. Like, I love how you always say, like, keep your eyes on your own paper. but just keep it in the realm of sanity. Like, this doesn't even make sense. And the fact that people sat at a table and wrote this bill
Yes.
is so insane to me. I always, whenever a bill, and I love the men that listen to this show, and I'm not knocking you, and I'm going to actually say and go out on a limb and say, I'm sure there are men that listen to this show that totally understand how a woman's reproductive system works. But I'm going to say that I don't think Josh Hawley is one of those people, not that he listens to my show, but I'm just going to go out on a limb. I'm going to believe that most of the people and men that write these stupid effing bills, if you question them just a bit, they couldn't tell you how it works. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Why would this work? What do you think they're saving? What are they catching? Tell me what they're catching. Tell me what they're catching. Like, it just...
Tissue, I guess. I mean, it depends on how far.
Well, no,
along
it matters how far along. Exactly. How far along are they? Like,
it looks like a period, right? If in some cases, like, I don't know.
How are you going to know if it is? What are we supposed to do with it? Like, how is the woman supposed to know? How is the doctor supposed? Are we just going to have cups of and bag? What do you expect a doctor to do with this shit? Like, are you serious? Think down the line. You cannot be serious.
Well,
this is
also,
not a serious bill.
Think about the stupidity with which you would have to come up with something like this when you think about all the other things that go into the toilet, the flusheroo, right?
There are sharks that are getting high on cocaine right now.
I mean,
we're concerned about.
This is what we're concerned about polluting our water with.
Like,
right?
Please give me a break.
It just makes no sense.
They're so stupid.
Nonsensical. I think it's this whole weird drive they have to bring religion into everything they do, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be righteous and they're going to this isn't what it appears to be.
Of course, it's all about women and controlling
right.
women and controlling our reproductive rights and it's all that shit. But it's so absolutely ridiculous. But I always go back to, they sat at a table. They wrote this bill, like
with a straight face.
With a straight face. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding. You wasted time. Like, we paid you for this. This is American tax dollars at work. And you're going to take a 2-week recess like tomorrow. Like, I can't stand Congress. This is why we hate the government. This is why people can't stand the government. This is why people say, like, the government's too big. This is why. You're wasting time. You're wasting time on bills like this when people can't afford housing, when we can't afford healthcare. Like, there are things that people want you to focus on. We don't want you catching our periods. You know what I mean? Like, we don't care about that. I don't, nobody is calling you on the phone demanding that. That's not what we're doing.
And has this ever really been a problem before? Why are we creating new issues where there weren't one? Don't we have enough things to talk about and to deal with?
If you had a hierarchy of issues, this, not even in the realm of possibilities. It's so freaking stupid.
So I have a Christian question. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of religion,
mm-hmm.
a few days ago,
mm-hmm.
there's a story about the pastor of Pete Hegseth.
Oh God.
Wishing and calling for the death of James Tallarico, saying he hopes God strikes him dead. Of course, James Tallarico comes out and he says, I'm praying for you, what have you. He takes the high road. Now I have this story. So I think the Christianity that Pete Hegseth is practicing is different than regular Christianity. Because here's this one, Nikki. Hegseth is praying over at the Pentagon service for overwhelming violence against enemies. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Are you supposed to do that?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure he's an evangelical.
He also, by the way, is not allowing chaplains to display their rank, military chaplains, and he and not to display or have information about what religion they're representing. You can't say like, I'm the Muslim chaplain, I'm the Christian chaplain, whatever. You can't have that on your thing.
Yeah, he is an evangelical. So, and I'm not going to act like I'm a expert on evangelicals, but they can be extreme. And yeah, there are religions, as we know, that preach violence against others. Yes. I mean,
But isn't that not what God said? Like,
I
listen,
will strike you down. Oh no, the Bible is very violent, Kim McAllister.
all right, because
Very, very violent.
I thought thou shalt not kill. I thought
you can pick and
shalt
choose,
be
baby
kind
girl.
to your treat unto others as you do unto and be nice to your neighbor and don't covet the things. And I thought it was supposed to make you
you're
into a
talking New
good
Testament.
person.
You got to look in Old
Oh,
Testament. We get
okay.
in the Old Testament, it is
Fire and brimstone. Yeah. I misunderstood. See, this is why I come to you, because I thought Christianity was about, being kind to everyone. I didn't understand that you weren't supposed to wish for other people's
they
death.
ignore the Old Testament, the New Testament. Yeah, okay, I got it backwards. Yeah, the Old Testament is violent. What is the one that there's one that's really, really bad. One book that's really like it's the most violent. Yeah, the New Testament is the teachings of Jesus. So you want to read that if you want to be like, love your neighbor, 10 Commandments, Moses, and all the, but the other one, the start of everything, violent.
Okay. I guess that's what Pete Hegseth subscribes to.
But also like it's the Bible can be interpreted so many different ways. Leviticus. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. You can pick and choose. I mean, there are so many ways, even probably us talking that you could choose the Bible that we should be struck down right now. You know what I mean? Like probably talking while you're bleeding. Like, I mean, there's so many ways.
Having the audacity to speak out against men.
I mean, come on.
And not being subservient enough.
The ways in which certain people choose to pick things out of the Bible and it's like, that's what we're choosing to hate you on, speaks volumes on who they are as a person. So again, we talked about this last week. Do unto others as they do unto you is pretty much the only rule I follow. And I'm fine with that.
Thou shalt not kill. I kind of like that one too.
Well, I don't want anyone to kill me, so I ain't going to kill you.
Thou shalt
right?
Not kill. Yeah, I guess it works. So here's what he prayed for. Listen to this. I mean, stop me if you don't want to hear about the sect of Christianity that apparently this comes from. He prays during a religious service at the Pentagon that there will be overwhelming violence of action against those who deserve no mercy. Quote, let every round find its mark against the enemies of righteousness and our great nation. Give them wisdom in every decision, endurance for the trial ahead, unbreakable unity, overwhelming violence of action against those who deserve no mercy.
No mercy. Yeah. Yeah. It can get bad. Yeah. Again.
What do they say? Praise God and pass the ammo? Is that what that's about?
It's you can get pretty intense with it. So again, he's the war, Department of War, the Secretary of War. I'm not surprised that this sort of messaging is coming from Pete Hegseth.
Yeah.
It's not. You know what I mean? Like, and again, it's the history of religion is very violent. Right? Wars. People die for their religion constantly. So violence in religion goes hand in hand constantly. Yeah. So it's nothing new. But it's awful. And for Pete Hegseth to wish death upon another politician who is speaking love is disgusting.
Yes.
It is absolutely disgusting. And for James Tallarico to come back and say he responds with love is the perfect message.
It really is. And I don't know how he does it because I don't think I would have been able to do that.
No. Well,
he's very much what I would consider to be the way I understand Christianity. I would consider James Tallarico to be a true Christian. The way he, practices what he preaches, the way he tries to live up to his whatever version of the Bible he follows. Like that to me is someone who takes the high road and follows the path of the Jesus that he worships.
Yeah, and I would say that he's also a good American who believes in separation of church and state. You know what I mean? Which I think is most important for somebody that's running for office. You know what I mean? Like I want someone who you could be religious or not religious. He's obviously religious, but he understands how to separate that from the office. And that's what we need. I have no problem with someone that is truly religious. I think that, it teaches you in some ways morality. It's not the only way. I think that people understand right from wrong, and you don't need religion to do that. But as long as you understand that your religion shouldn't be the only thing that guides you in office, because not everybody believes the way that you do, more power to him. And he's shown that over and over again. So I like him. Can he flip Texas? It'd be amazing to see.
I hope so.
It'd be amazing to see. So we'll see. We'll see. There's one more story that I want to talk about that we didn't get to last week. And it's lighter. This was one of our favorite stories last week. It has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with anything really. I would say, what would you say that I guess, what would you say is vertically challenged person? What is the height of a vertically challenged person? Let me know in the comments. What do you consider short for a man and a woman? Let me know in the comments. So if you were to say that guy is short or that woman is short, what is the height that you would choose? Let me know in the comments.
Okay, you want them to answer?
No, well, you answer first while they're
Okay.
answering.
So I would say for a man, maybe 5'7" and under.
You cannot say 3 feet. That's an exaggeration. Let's be realistic. Okay, we're not talking. Okay, stop. We're not talking like,
like a little person.
Yeah, not like a little person. I didn't know what the appropriate word was. Not like a little person. I'm talking about like,
For a woman, I'd say 5'2" and under. For a man, I'd say 5'7" and under.
5'7"? Okay. Okay. Let's see what people are saying. Okay. 5'8" for a guy? Okay. Also let me know, do you think it matters more for a man or a woman? I feel like it doesn't really matter for a woman. Yeah, although I will say, I think I'm a short woman. As a short woman, I definitely think there is a point where like that woman's short. You know what I mean? There is a point where it's like, okay, 5'4", I'm assuming you mean for whomever. Okay. 4 feet is definitely little person, I would say. Liz says 5'7" for a man, 5 foot for a woman, 5 foot for either. Oh, that's pretty generous for a man. Okay. Let's see. Vicky says 5'5" for a man, 5'6" for guys, 5'4" for ladies. Kitty says 5'10", so I'd call a man 5'9" or less short. Okay.
Based on your own height.
Tammy says I'm 4'11", so a guy 5'6". Okay. Woman under 5'3", man under 5'8", 5'9" for a man, 5'2" for a woman. Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito for a height for man. All right, 5'5" for a woman. Tom Cruise is John was saying Tom Cruise height. Tom Cruise is short. I think
how tall is he? I think he's 5'6" or 5'7".
I think he's even shorter than that. I read somewhere that Tom Cruise has in his contract that like all of his love interests there has to be something done with the floor.
Yeah.
Right. So that he's eye level or above, which, I don't know, because then there's like Tom Holland, who's Spider-Man. The new movie is coming out. I totally want to see it, by the way. And he doesn't give a crap. Like he's shorter than Zendaya, his soon to be wife. And he doesn't care. Like
they're already married.
Well, that's the rumor.
Yeah.
But either way, he's shorter than her and he's fine with it. So Gordon says, wait, I'm not short. I'm 5'8". So the average height of a man in the United States right now is 5'9". Which I find to be surprising but I think the reason why I find it to be surprising is because if you ask any man how tall they are, what do they say?
6 feet. Yeah.
Every man.
Gordon's right where he should be, right?
Is 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what they say. I'm 6 feet tall. It's like, you're not 6 feet tall. Not every man you meet is 6 feet tall. No. It's statistically impossible. I mean, obviously I'm 5'1". I think my husband's like 5'6", 5'7". Obviously, we're breeding short people. That's
Right.
fine. I like a short king. I've dated both
Yeah.
in my life. The tallest man I dated was 6'1". I didn't like it because it hurt my neck.
Yeah.
I didn't like looking up that much. I remember I was in
Yeah.
high school and I was like, I mean, I dated him for extremely long. He was like my second longest boyfriend. It was very hard. It's very,
Yeah.
Did you ever date a guy shorter than you?
No.
You would never. Would you ever?
No, I would. It just hadn't. I never happened upon the opportunity, I guess.
Who is the tallest guy you ever dated?
I'm tall though.
How tall are you?
I used to be 5'9", but I think I shrank a little.
5'9" is not that tall.
Well, I mean, for a woman.
My best friend is 6. So
Like, okay, see, that's tall. I don't walk into a room and people think, oh, she's, petite, or she's like I'm definitely on the taller end of women, I think, but most women aren't 6 feet tall.
Well, Vanessa says my high school boyfriend was 6'4". I'm
Oh,
5'2". Wow.
Yeah.
Now that has to be interesting because not necessarily just for you, Vanessa, but as a tall man, like I don't know why. It's just like you have to be such like a present. You know what I mean? Like come here, little one. Like I have no idea what it's like to be tall ever. But it must be so satisfying to see everything. You know what I mean? Like, because I can't see shit. Like, not that I'm ever on anybody's.
You're so little. It's easy to put you on the shoulders.
But like, I can't. Not that anybody puts me on their shoulders, but I can't imagine. I've seen these videos before of people that have like, and they're like, "Oh, this is what you see." Like, you just see everything. Like, I can't see anything. Or there's people that like shrink down and they're like, you can't see anything. I'm like, no, I can't see over the, like if you're looking for shoe rack, like in the store, like the shoe racks, like you can't see anything or anything like that. No, I just see shoes. I just see whatever's in front of me. So
yesterday I discovered that my son is almost as tall as me and he's 12.
He's going to be a tall one.
He's
definitely going to be a tall one.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why we're talking about this is not just to laugh about height, but there is a benefit to being short. And it is because we actually live longer. There's 4 health benefits, apparently, to being short. We have, according to a Swedish study, of 5 million people, by the way. So this isn't like some offshoot
size, right?
Yeah, this is a big sample size. Every 10 centimeters of height seem to raise the risk of cancer by 18% in women and 11% in men. So the shorter you are, the lower your cancer risk.
Well, does it make sense? Because the more tissue you have, the more body mass you have, the more chance something could go wrong and grow in that mass.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I guess that, yeah. So taller women specifically appeared to face a 20% higher risk of breast cancer, while the risk of melanoma increased 30%, which makes sense because you have more skin.
Yeah, there's more area, right?
Got to cover that skin up. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, so there's that. You're less likely if you're shorter to get a blood clot.
Because there's less chance of that you'd have less
going around, right?
To travel, right?
So men shorter than 5'3" had a 65% lower risk of blood clots compared with men 6'2" or taller. Okay. Among women, those under 5'1" had up to 69% lower risk. This one makes sense. You're less likely to break a hip. Well, you're just closer to the ground.
It's true. It's not as damaging.
You don't have to fall as far. Yeah. You know what I mean? So the higher you are, the less you have to fall. So that just obviously, and you're most likely, this is number 4, to live longer. Shorter people live 2 to 5 years longer than their peers. So there you go. So all short queens and kings, you'll live longer.
I wonder why evolution hasn't then pushed us to be shorter instead of taller.
I mean, has it? I don't
mean,
know. I mean, I
you
don't
would
know.
think that if we live longer and all of these very serious health implications are, better for people that are short than people that are tall, then short people would also
Yeah.
have other health, reasons for procreating better or surviving longer or whatever it is. I don't know.
Well, I just Googled it, and Mrs. Google says the reason why we've been getting taller
Yeah.
is due to more nutrition, better health care, and reduced disease. So if we would have just kept all the things the same, we probably would have stayed the same height.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So it's our fault. Stop being so damn healthy, you'll stay short. But yeah, I mean, if you ever want to, have a benefit of being shorter, I like to say, we only grow things until they're perfect. And so I'm just shorter. So
It just
I
took less
I
time for you
reach
to be perfect.
perfection quicker. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
So there you go. I only had to grow so long.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I like being short though. I also like not having, I always also say tall people have to reach things for me. I'm like, I have a magic. They just have to reach things for me. Although I was in a store a few years ago and there was a shorter woman than me and she asked me to get something off a shelf. And I had never been so excited in my entire life. I was like, yes, I will totally grab that for you. I've never been asked that before in my entire life. So it was awesome. But like Dylan's taller than my son is taller than me. I'm like, go get that for me. Like my
Is
kids are
he?
taller than me. Oh, both of my kids are taller.
Okay.
Marley's taller than me. Dylan's taller than me. I'm the shortest person in my family.
That's
so
funny.
yeah. So and that's good. I think your kids are supposed to be taller than you. So Marley's already taller than me. I'm taller than my mom. My mom is probably 5 feet. I'm 5'1", and Marley's probably at least 5'2", and Dylan's taller than that. So
Julie is shorter than me. When do they stop growing?
I think women. Oh, I think at the end of high school, right?
Okay, she's got a little time on her left.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
boys too. So I think
Okay.
they have a ways to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong. Love yourself or whatever height you are. But women are getting taller. I think the thing is, as whatever height you are, I do think that women need to give it up on the whole. They need to be 6 feet tall thing,
Oh, yeah.
because men are not 6 feet tall. They're just average. Like the average number of men that are 6 feet and taller is not the percentage that women think it is. So if you're holding on, like if you're on those dating apps, women, and you put in the percentages and like, I will not date under, you're not going to get, obviously men are lying. So whatever, but they're going to come to your door shorter than that. It's just not going to happen. It's really not.
Vicky answers my question. She says, because tall men get to reproduce. That's why we have an evolutionarily
but they're not
shorter,
tall.
maybe.
Yeah, but most of the men are 5'9", is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
men
yeah.
lie. Men lie. On that note, before we end, has anybody seen, I think it's on Netflix, I believe it's on the Manosphere documentary?
No.
Oh
Do I
man.
want to see it?
No, the Manosphere documentary is it's Louis Theroux inside the manosphere. Just because we're talking about men and height and things like that.
Yeah.
It's disturbing. Louis Theroux is a documentarian. He goes deep inside the like Andrew Tate type of guys. But it's interesting if you want to kind of get a look inside kind of this male hyper fixation on things like height and misogyny and things like that. But the one thing that stood out to me is one of the guys was dating a woman and another guy had a mom that he was really close to. And if you watch it, just kind of pay attention to, there was a real relationship with a woman that they were trying to be like, oh, that's not important, but you knew it was. And then there was this image that they were just portraying and that other people were just falling for. And it wasn't actually true. So if you're on Netflix or if you have it, I urge you to watch it. And if you have young men in your life,
yes,
I urge you to have them watch it, because what stood out to me was these men know they're full of shit and they're just doing it to make $1. But the men that watch them are buying it and thinking that that's the way they should live. And it's not. They're They're fooling them. And it's just, anyways, I wanted to throw that in because we were talking about height and all that sort of stuff. And it's just all BS. Just love yourself and love other people and it's fine. You know what I mean? So yeah.
There
It's
is
crazy.
a concerning rise among young Republican men.
Yes. And that's what they also talk about.
We've seen it in college campuses in Florida State, I guess, or a university in Florida. Recently, they have a horrible scandal with racist text and misogynistic text and saying the most awful things all around the country. Happened in New York as well with the Young Republicans Club.
Yeah.
And so there's a concerning rise in racism and misogyny. And what's interesting is, I remember this kid was watching Andrew Tate and he was texting back and forth with Julia and when she was in 8th grade and saying the most awful things. And she didn't tell me about it right away and didn't like stop him. And I was like, no. Like,
we do not engage with that.
We do not engage at all. But I think it's important because people don't realize what's happening.
Yeah.
And they need to be able to get it when they hear it.
Yeah.
Right? Like these are their catchphrases. These are the words they're using. Listen to what your kids are saying.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, you think you know what they're watching. But
No. Yeah.
like today at the library, you know, I have parental controls at home, but Jacob's at the library playing Roblox with someone. And I don't know if there are parental controls at the library computer. I don't know. You have to pay attention. You have to listen for things. You have to be aware of it. So while we may not want to watch this, I think you have to really.
Well, you have to, and you also have to pay attention to the fact of, you know, having a conversation of what it means to be a man in 2026. Like, and that's the whole thing. It's not only this idea of being strong and being rich and having a job, but what was really interesting was this idea of women get things because of their beauty. They just get this sort of thing, but men have to work for it. And so it's this idea of an imbalance that is unfair and that they kind of hate women for it, which is total BS, obviously. But yeah, it's a lot of hate and it's a lot of control, but it's a good watch and Louis Theroux does a really good job of it. But yeah, it's a dangerous watch. But I also think, just on this note, there is another group of men that I also think is growing this year and in this generation that is pushing away from all of that. I really, really do. And I think that women do need to lift those type of men up and celebrate them and be like, you know, that are still like celebrating not just their own type of sensitivity and masculinity, but redefining what it means to be a man. Like, you don't have to be all broed out. You can just, you know, you can understand what it means to be a woman, a man, and it doesn't have to be all rah, angry, driving fast cars. It could just be softer. You know what I mean? And it could be in touch with your feelings and all of that sort of stuff. So I don't know, but it's on Netflix. You guys should watch it. Louis Theroux does a really, really good job because he's totally the opposite of like these bro dudes. And so it's pretty interesting. So he did a really good job. I haven't had Dylan watch it because Dylan is like literally the complete opposite of it, but I'm going to drag him into watching it. It does sound awful. I do. But if you have a chance to watch it, I do urge you to watch it. Again, it's one of those things where it's insightful, but if you don't, it's not your cup of tea, don't watch it. But it was done really, really well. Okay, guys, that is our show. Thank you guys for being here. Again, if you can support the show in any way you can, we do appreciate it. We are 100% crowdfunded. Super chats, super stickers are always live, even if our show is not. Patreon supporters, PayPal supporters, we depend on you. So if you can throw us some dollars, we do appreciate it. Patreon, PayPal links are always in the show notes. So if you can click down there, we do appreciate it. And we are here every single Thursday live at 5 Pacific, and join us live because it's always more fun when everybody is here live.
Really nice message from Anna Marie. She says, thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate your content.
Oh, Anna Marie, thank you for being here. So yeah, we will be back next Thursday at 5:00. And you can always email us as well, the Nikki Maduro Show @gmail.com. We love to take story ideas as well. All right. We love you guys. Take care of each other as always. Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You sprout like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.